welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Desiree and I am the blogger, creator, person behind I Can You Can Vegan. Today I'm switching gears just a little bit. I want to talk about something I don't think people really talk about all that often. Maybe it's just me, maybe I've been living under a rock. Nobody is really talking about body image after pregnancy. In case you don't know, I have a 1-year-old son. He is so precious, which means I have been a mother for just over a year. He just celebrated his first birthday. He's amazing. He's amazing. I love him. But after having him, things changed for me that I didn't think would. I want to talk about it. I'm just gonna bust it wide open. Before we conceived my son, the pandemic was happening, the panini was happening. So we're at home, and I think while everybody was kind of like falling off the wagon, I jumped back on the wagon in terms of working out consistently because I just felt like I got nothing else to do here. I might as well start being more consistent with my workouts. So I was really consistent. I found a bunch of YouTube channels that had really good content as far as like, you know, at-home workouts that I could do by myself, ones that didn't feel like workouts, that made me feel good about myself. And I had reached a place with my body where I felt confident. I really liked the way that I looked in clothing and without clothing. I was just in a good space. You couldn't tell me nothing. So I was in a really good place before I had my baby, and then we decided, me and my husband, hey, let's think about having a kid. We were gonna do it eventually. Why not now? Luckily, we were able to get pregnant pretty quickly. Let me know if I sound crazy or not. Did you think that before you had a baby, if you like, you know, got right, got tight, got fit, got in really good shape, you would get pregnant, and then after the baby came, you would be able to kind of like, your body would magically do this thing where it just kind of went back to how it was? I know I'm not the only person who thought that. I really did think that if I was fit before I got pregnant, that being fit afterward would be easier. Well, I was wrong. We got pregnant in like the summer of 2020 and everything was great. I had a really textbook pregnancy. Nothing crazy happened. I didn't have any high blood pressure. My son was doing what he was doing in there. He was in his own little world. He was doing great. I was doing great. I felt really good. Outside of the first trimester, y'all, the first trimester, it was just a shit show, to be honest. Just in terms of like, I had a lot of morning sickness. I was very sensitive to smells. Like, y'all know my husband, he is not vegan, so he still eats eggs, and he likes fried eggs. And to me, fried eggs smell a whole lot different than like scrambled eggs. They stink. Even if I was upstairs and he's cooking downstairs, the smell would find its way to me, and it was a wrap. It was a no-go. So on top of the smells, like being sensitive to a lot of things that I was not sensitive to before, there was that, and I just had a lot of like, I was very nauseous. Luckily, the second trimester came and it was a cakewalk. It's everything that, you know, everybody tells you about. Oh, it's so beautiful. Pregnancy is so beautiful. I felt really strong. I felt empowered. I felt womanly. Like, I was just having all the feels, and I thought I was cute too with my little bump. Like, at that point, I feel like your bump is like at the perfect stage where it's not like, whoa, like huge, which is fine. This is, whoa, huge is good too because you're growing a human, but it's like at that cute stage where it's like having a baby, posing with your stomach all the time. Third trimester came. I was so tired all the time. Like, I could not get enough rest. And then being that I was tired, I couldn't get the rest that I wanted because I was just so uncomfortable. Sleeping was so uncomfortable. Like, trying to lay on my side, lay on my back, like nothing was getting it. I could not sleep through the night. It was terrible. I could not wait for the kid to get here. I was ready to drop the load quick, y'all. So anyway, third trimester comes, it's toward the end, and I think his due date was March 28th or something. It feels like so long ago, I can't remember, but it was toward the end of March. Y'all, he decided he did not want to come out. We waited and waited and waited. I think we waited for like an extra 2 weeks, and it got to a point where the doctors were like, we're reaching that spot. We're leaving the sweet spot is what was happening. We were leaving the sweet spot, and that didn't feel good. So it just felt like I didn't have a choice but to go ahead and be induced. Me and my husband, we set a date and we were induced. My kid decided he just wanted to do his own thing, and so his heart rate was going up and down, up and down, up and down. And it just got to the point where the doctors were like, look, we need to talk about having a C-section. Everything was normal, and so this really, really caught me off guard. And so obviously I'm stressed a little bit, but trying not to be stressed because I don't want the baby to be stressed. It was a mess. The C-section was, you know, I'm on all these drugs, so I really didn't feel a thing. But the recovery, can we talk about the recovery? If you have had a C-section, please let me know what your experience was in the comments below. 2 stars, would not recommend. The recovery was the absolute worst because they've cut you right here, and you know, when you have a baby, your insides are kind of being rearranged and stuff. Like, your body is just not what it used to be. But anyway, it was hard for me to walk upright, so I was scrunched down like this. Like, everything just felt more difficult than what it was. So being that I had just had this big incision here, I have a 2-story house, so it was really tough for me to get up the stairs. I think I stayed upstairs for like the first at least a month after I had my kid. I think I stayed upstairs the whole time, which means my lovely husband, he was in charge of, like, you know, bringing me food and really taking care of the baby. Eventually things got better, but the recovery was just really hard for me. I didn't feel like myself. I'm very, very independent, so having to have my husband make my meals, y'all know I like to cook. I run a whole food blog, so for having to have my husband have to make my meals and, you know, grab me things to drink or just whatever, it was a lot. It felt like a lot having to ask that of him, especially with a newborn baby in the house, and I couldn't help with everything like I wanted to. Not to mention, I was also pumping around the clock, like 9, 11, 1, 3, you get the point. I was pumping all the time. It was hard. A few months later, I started feeling better about myself, and I could move, and me and my family, we were taking walks around the neighborhood regularly. I was starting to feel good, but I noticed that my stomach was nowhere near what it was before. And like I said, this is just a few months after, and so I was still trying to give myself grace, and I'm still giving myself grace. But you know, it's really tough when we live in the age of social media, and even though I know better, it still doesn't do anything to see women who are pumping out these babies and then immediately going back to what they used to look like. And even though I know better, and I know that, you know, some of these women have resources to things and doctors that I do not, it doesn't make it any easier. It still leaves you questioning, like, well, you know, is there any hope for me? Because I had this mommy pouch that I was trying to get rid of, eventually my doctors were like, okay, yeah, you're clear to work out. Like, you can do what you want now. As long as you feel comfortable, knock yourself out. So I started working out, and then I realized I likely had diastasis recti. How do you say that? Like, diastasis recti, I think is what it is. And if you don't know, diastasis recti is when, you know, your abs are usually kind of squished together, but when the baby comes, especially if you have a big baby like I did, your baby starts rearranging your body parts on the inside. My kid was like, look, abs, coming through, and he separated them to make space for him. So it happens to a lot of women. It's not uncommon at all, but it's just something that you have to be mindful of, so that you can work to push your abs back together. And the separation actually causes your stomach to look bigger than it actually is. It creates that mommy pooch or mommy pouch, whatever people are calling it. I definitely had and still have one a year later. So anyway, in my head, I thought that I would be in a different place a year later than I am right now, but you know, it just didn't work out that way. Because I had diastasis recti, I went to go see a physical therapist, and you know, she was great. She gave me workouts to do that would help me kind of join my abs back, and the exercises were actually really easy, but it was like almost too easy. I don't know, like, y'all, for whatever reason, I could not get those exercises to stick. She told me to, like, you know, do it when you wake up in the morning or when you're laying down in the bed right before you go to sleep at night. Don't ask me what the exercises were because I really don't remember. I'm just being honest. I could not figure out why I could not make myself do those exercises regularly. Tell me, y'all, what are some recommendations that you have for diastasis recti? Do you have diastasis recti? Did you have it? Like, and if you had it, how did you work through it? I would love to know and get some insight on that, so that maybe I can adopt some of your habits. There is this like societal thing that's out there that makes it seem like giving birth is easy, and that it's literally just as simple as, you know, getting pregnant, you go to the hospital, pop your legs open, push, a baby comes out, and you take it home and everything is fine. Well, for some people, that might be the case, but for me, that just was not my story at all. Along with giving birth, there is the mental and the physical aspect of it that I don't think a lot of people, you know, take into consideration, or we just don't talk about it enough. Y'all, I didn't know what I was in for when I decided to have a baby. Can we get off the notion that having a C-section is easier than giving birth? Y'all, I for a long time did think that too. I thought that like having a C-section was like the easier way out. No, it's not. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. Y'all, like I said, my recovery was not fun. It was really, really difficult for me. And I think people forget that having a C-section is a major surgery. Like, it's a major surgery. We kind of romanticize having a child and what motherhood is actually like. It's not what I imagined that it would be. It is difficult. It's really difficult to care for another human that you brought into this world. If I'm being completely honest, it has been really difficult for me to wake up every day and look in the mirror and see a body that I can't say that I don't want it, because I'm proud of being able to give birth and carrying my son through a really healthy pregnancy. But just a body that I did not intend to have at this point. Like I said, I thought that I was doing all the right things, working out before I got pregnant and really staying active during the pregnancy. I really thought that that would help me in the long run, but honestly, and perhaps it did, but it didn't in the ways that I thought that it would. Like I said, I thought that I would kind of have a leg up in terms of post-pregnancy and what my body would look like after that. So I don't think that it was all for naught, but like I said, it has been really difficult to look in the mirror or try on old clothes that I really did like that just don't look the same anymore, that just don't look as flattering. Look at yourself and it's just not what you thought it would be. And so that can be really tough to process. What I'm doing right now to just kind of combat the new body that I'm in, I am working on cardio. I'm making cardio a big part of my routine. Like I said, I worked out a lot before I had the baby. I usually work out 5 days a week, and so that's what I'm back to now. So Monday through Friday, I get it in at least 30 minutes. As you can see, I wear an Apple Watch, so I close my rings every day, except the weekend. The weekend, I'm way more lax. I try, but I don't like... If I do, I do it. If I don't, I don't. So for me, this means dance cardio. Like, I love Mike Peel. If you haven't seen his channel, I'll put a link below in this video. I like to go on walks with my son when I can't do the cardio. Like, maybe if it's just me and him or something and I can't do cardio workouts. I'm trying to keep my body moving and burning these calories, y'all. In addition to that, I'm being way more mindful with my clothing choices. I think it's really important to me to wear things that make me feel good. And I don't know if I'm just in a different space with my clothing, like now that I'm a mom, or now that, you know, I'm working from home full time pretty much. My closet just does not speak to me anymore. So the goal is to get a closet that is full of clothing that I am excited about wearing. And so this is gonna take some time. This is definitely not something that's gonna happen overnight, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm wearing pieces that flatter my new body and that just make me feel good. So like, this is one of them. Giving, like living my life like it's clothing. Y'all know that song? I need new jeans terribly. So if you have places that you like to shop for good quality denim, let me know. I want to feel put together. I don't want to feel messy. I don't want any parts of that. So I need clothing suggestions that are gonna make me feel good. So where do you shop at? I want to know where you shop at. Where should I be looking? Because right now I'm just kind of everywhere. I'm kind of everywhere, and I need good quality clothing. I feel like we get a lot of flack as women in the community, or as mothers. It's almost like a bad thing if you say you want to look like you did before you had a baby. Y'all, I don't think anything is wrong with that. While I will say I would love to look like I did before I had a baby, but having a baby also gave me a little wrinkly skin and stretch marks that, you know, perhaps I'm not the biggest fans of. And I realize that it's unrealistic to think that I'm gonna get rid of the stretch marks and the saggy skin, but a flatter stomach, you know, would be nice. If you have any comments or questions, I would love to answer them in the comments below. So definitely give me your thoughts, and I look forward to chatting with y'all again soon. Bye.